Has David Davis done the right thing for the country and for the Conservatives, bearing in mind that this could force a leadership challenge, which could potentially lead to another general election? Only, what is it, about 8 months before we're meant to have the whole thing wrapped up?
Well, one thing about being a Conservative is you're supposed to put the country first, constituency second and party last. I think David Davis has done absolutely the right thing, and I take my hat off to him. And I think the now discredited Chequers agreement, the Prime Minister's going to have a complete rethink. I think there'll be other resignations unless the Prime Minister announces very quickly that the proposals put forward at Chequers are being shelved, and we're looking again for a free trade deal in the form of a Canada plus, which is what we promised the British people over the last 2 years since the referendum. It's the only deal that's going to give us back the control that we've promised, taking back control of our laws, our borders and our money.
When Brexiteers say this doesn't deliver on what the British people voted for, the British people simply voted to leave the EU and might have voted on all sorts of other things. And I'm not sure that many people going to the ballot box knew if they were voting on Canada plus or a Norway-style deal.
Did you meet a single person who said that they were voting for Canada plus? I haven't the faintest clue what Canada plus is. What's now clear, if we just stand back from it, is that there's going to be no majority in Parliament now for any Brexit deal. You've got Andrew Bridgen, Jacob Rees-Mogg, now David Davis, and all of the
and
ardent...
two ministers.
Yeah, and the whole crew now, and ardent, these people who want out of everything with the word Europe in the title, irrespective of the views of the majority of the British people, they will now vote against any treaty that involves any meaningful relationship with the EU to safeguard our trade.
And Labour would also vote.
My party is definitely not voting for what came out of the Cabinet on Friday, because what came out of the Cabinet on Friday was only agreement to a very limited deal for free trading goods. But most of our economy is in services, and we are not voting for something which trashes the national economic interest. And what came out of Chequers on Friday would trash the national economic interest. So what you've got now is two irreconcilable positions.
But you and Andrew Bridgen but you're completely irreconcilable on... You both agree on the fact that this deal would be terrible, but you both completely disagree on what would be good.
But this is why I think we're going to end up staying in the EU, because what's now going to happen is no majority for any alternative proposition. I've been saying for ages, it's a bit like the poll tax. It doesn't matter whether you're for or against Brexit, it simply can't be made to work.
But if it's challenged, and that leads to a general election, and Jeremy Corbyn gets in, how would you feel?
Jeremy Corbyn is a huge threat to our country, but the decisions we'll make over Brexit and the deal we have going forward with the European Union, that's in perpetuity. And at the end of the day,
so
it's about the long...
you'd rather have Jeremy Corbyn as a Prime Minister as a result of your decisions now than the deal that Theresa May put together on Friday?
I couldn't tolerate, I could never support the deal that Theresa May put forward on Friday from the Chequers agreement, no. And I will work night and day to ensure that Jeremy Corbyn never becomes Prime Minister of this country. He's the biggest threat to our economy ever. But we must have the right Brexit deal as well. And that's fundamental.
I think what you've just heard is a completely incoherent position from Andrew Bridgen, because where Labour is going to be is against this deal because it doesn't have enough unity with Europe when it comes to our trade.
They haven't got a position on Europe.
So the idea that these two positions could be reconciled is farcical. And the idea that 2 years ago anybody, including in Mr Bridgen's constituency, voted to make themselves poorer is equally farcical. We're in the end game of Brexit now, and the only question is how the whole thing collapses.
The Prime Minister has an opportunity to amend her position, and we need to get back to looking for a free trade agreement along the lines of Canada plus, which will retain the UK's sovereignty and give us a chance to trade freely with the rest of the world.
And if you can, I mean, as Lord Adonis says, and to be fair, you might have to agree with him, not many people were talking about Canada plus. I'm not even sure how many pluses there are. Could you just in a line give us a summary of Canada plus?
Well, it's a free trade agreement across the economy with the European Union. It's not requiring us, it's looking at regulatory equivalence, matched equivalence, and also that doesn't bind Canada into matching exactly the regulations of the European Union going forward. That was completely different. It would have given a whole swathe.
Took them a long time to get there, though, didn't it?
Seven-year negotiation.
Seven-year negotiation. And if the EU just say no to us having that, then you'd rather just walk away.
Well, with our money, which the EU needs. The EU can borrow money to bail out Greece, Portugal, Spain, Italy, all their countries, but they cannot borrow money for their in-year budgets. They desperately need that £40 billion. They need the $20 billion net we'll pay in the 2 years of transition. And this is called negotiation. The EU are playing hardball with us all the time. It's time we got tough with the EU.